Sunday or Monday, whether Mark and Gary or any of them go along. But that'll be a nice trip because we might swing back through Arcadia and try to hit
That's
some.
awesome. I've been wanting to go to Arcadia just because of all the history and all the cattle farmers. And when we could talk about maybe going to Arcadia, and I'll tell you about the gold coins and the cracker tins and the rattles and all that stuff. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. And my cousin, they've been the one of the main plumbers there forever, and they know everybody like in town and the homeowners and the landowners, and they get so permissions wouldn't be quite as tough or
Mm-hmm.
anyway.
All right,
So
I'm
it's still
getting
be about
ready.
like a half hour. Is that what you
Yep.
do?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I'll make sure that I'm actually going to go a couple minutes early. I'm getting it all set up. If you want to smile, we're going to go ahead and get
Okay.
started. Okay.
All right.
Good morning, Brian. How you doing?
I'm good, Carolyn. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. So far, so
Good.
good. Halfway
You
through
look
the
good.
week. Thank
You
you.
look good. How's the ankle?
It's doing better. It's still a little bit weak, but I'm definitely going to go out detecting. I actually have Friday off work, so I'm going to go detecting. Not sure
Cool.
if I'm going to do the beach or not yet because the doctor's worried about the soft sand and it's still
Yeah.
weak. I can roll it pretty
Yeah.
easy. But I'm going to get out. I'm going to do some detecting. And I was actually thinking about Friday for a coffee with Kellyco when I get out and do some detecting, going live and doing coffee with Kellyco right from the field. So I
That'd be
hadn't done that
cool.
before. So I thought it would be
Yeah.
pretty cool to do that.
Cool.
So I know you were a guest on here a few months ago when we first started Coffee with Kellyco, and I know that a lot's changed since you were on here.
Quite a bit. Quite a
So
bit.
what's been going on with you?
Well, I've been in the health field for the last 11 years or so, working in an ICU in a local hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And just with this whole COVID thing, um, the company I work for, I got a phone call, and basically, long story short, they offered early retirement packages. I thought I'd be working well into my 70s. I got to be busy.
Mm-hmm.
And the package was good, and it was the right time. So I took an early retirement package. So I never, when you're there and all of a sudden a phone call happens and it changes your life pretty much from the decisions you make. And tell you what, I couldn't be more excited. I thought, man, I have to be, I'm the type that has to be doing something.
Mm-hmm.
So metal detecting, which I love, magnet fishing, metal detecting, looking, finding history in the dirt, so to
Yep,
speak.
absolutely.
Um, I just been really getting into it, and my wife, she supports that. In fact, she's bought me a couple things since then, and I'm just getting out and trying to find new places, and um, so I've been enjoying it. I've been having some good times. Found some since then. I found several more rings. I think I told you last time. I started metal detecting, whew, right late 70s, early 80s, and
Mm-hmm.
used to go out with my uncle, who's passed, but great guy. And I still have one of my first, actually my second metal detector, was a Fisher M scope. Actually got it from Kellyco when they were in Maitland on Orlando Ave. And
That's
I still
awesome.
use that. That's the first one I pull out for ring finds because it's just instant, and stuff. But
Yeah.
like that, and it's funny. I have like right now three, um, and I had them next to my bed in our bedroom, and my my wife said, "You need to get all that stuff." I'd have them under my pillow if I could, but but she actually, we did some research and got this cabinet behind me. I don't know if you can see, but it's really nice. Got my old finds and my detectors, and so I like that. And it's out of the bedroom, so I was able
Give
to
your
clean
wife a
that.
little more space and give the
Yeah,
detector some space.
yeah. But I've had a couple since then. I've had a couple more ring finds. I tell you,
Okay.
um, I've always loved helping people, and that's one
Yes.
reason why I went back into school and got my paramedic and worked in the hospital, because that's what I love to do. I love helping people. And from way back, from finding early people losing their rings here, and I have a metal detector. And but I love handing somebody back their, family heirloom, and there's other things besides
Absolutely.
rings, but finding something for somebody. So I'm excited when I get a call from you or a friend or something, because I put it out there that I don't charge. You know,
Right.
if if somebody wants to donate for gas or something like that, I even tell them it's not necessary. Sometimes they just kind of force it on you. Okay,
Yep.
but I don't charge. But handing that back to them and seeing that smile, and like they thought, it was lost forever.
Yep.
And that's the thing with metal detecting. If if I don't know, some people probably look at it as like some old man or old woman thing, but you
It's
know what?
really
If
not.
if if somebody doesn't dig it up and find it,
Yeah.
what happens to it? It stays in the dirt
Yeah.
forever. So
Absolutely. One of my favorite recovery stories that I did, it's really crazy. We talked about last time. I'm still looking for my mom's engagement ring. We got to get up there and try that.
yeah,
But when I was detecting, I went to my parents' house and learning my detectors and everything. And when I was 16, I had lost a necklace, a silver necklace that had rings on it and a bunch of charms, like my mother daughter charm, my best friend charm. And I was really upset. And I was really surprised, 25 years later to go out there and detect and pull up my necklace that I lost when I was, 16 years old. And
that's
you
awesome
know, with the ring still on it. I didn't find all the charms, but it was just so awesome to pull that up because I
because
thought it was gone forever. I had no idea where I lost it.
exactly, and it's been sitting in the ground
Yeah.
since then, since you. So that to me is a big thing, and just helping. I know, um, probably since I talked to you last on here, there was a guy, property markers. He had,
Mhm.
finding property markers. Went out and found that for him, and the guy. It's funny. Uh, if you do this enough, you kind of
Mhm.
learn things in a polite way. But I had a guy. He lost a ring, and he was very anxious. He's about 45 minutes to an hour away, and I had called him the probably in the afternoon. We were heading up to see my grandkids and stuff, and he says, "Oh yeah, can you come out?" And I said, "Sure, I'll come out." And I said, "I can't right now because I'm going to go see my grandkids." He said,
Yeah.
"Well, the sooner the better." So I could tell in his anxiety. I
Right.
said, "I'll tell you what time you go to work tomorrow?" He says 7 o'clock. I said, "All right." I pulled him up where he was at. I said, "Okay, well, I'm early riser. I'll try to get down there, and maybe we can find it before you go to work."
Mhm.
So I pull in. I did. My wife went with me. In fact, we went down, and he had been cleaning out his garbage thing. He doesn't like bugs and stuff in it, and he had turned. He has an alleyway in the back of his house, and he had turned and he felt it fall off. So I said, "Well, that's a
Okay.
good thing." And it's so when they know that's another thing
That's
when you
yeah.
find he felt it fall
Absolutely.
off. It's one of those, the opposite of that is, yeah, I'm sure I lost it right here. Well, okay, but it could be, but it might, those are
Yeah.
tougher. But he would swore it fell off right here, right beside him. And so I got out my one I usually pull is the old Fisher I got with Kellyco, actually back in the early '80s, and that thing still runs and works fantastic. But I got I started looking and hitting some his property marker I hit and a couple other things. I like to kind of clean the area if I can. He was fine with that. And he said his neighbors was out helping him on their hands and knees trying to find it the night before. And and as I would get away from him a little, he said, "No, no, 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 you're too far. You're too far. It's right here. It's right here." So I kept going. Finally, I cleaned out the area. Make a long story short, I got my CTX out because he kept saying it was right here, and with the 17-inch coil. I said, "Look, sir, if it's here, this thing's going to find it."
Yep.
So I hit, and it was clean. It was all clean. So I just started working my way out farther, about 8 feet away from where he said he thought it went. It must have rolled, and he was ecstatic. At
That's awesome.
21 diamond. Once I pulled out the ring, I saw why he was so anxious. It had 21 diamonds on it, gold. It was beautiful.
Wow.
But it's a learning experience too. In a
Yeah.
polite way, say, "Sir," and he was okay with it because he wanted to find it, but they were
Right.
ecstatic.
I just want to give a quick shout out over here. I want to say good morning to some of the people joining. Tom, Richard, Margie, Rachel, Daniel, Jeremy, Denver, Alice. Good morning, everyone. And
Good
Olin
morning.
wants to know if his Apex is on the way. The Apex, the last update that we had from Garrett, they are going to be shipped to us towards the end of July. Once we get them, then we'll be shipping them out. So we're still waiting on to get them from Garrett Olin. As soon as they come in, we'll definitely be shipping them out. One thing I wanted to talk about, Brian, was I know your wife is a huge supporter of the
Mhm.
hobby, and we talked about you just retired, and I know that your wife got you a really amazing gift for your retirement.
Absolutely. And I tell you, um, it was she is very supportive, and she knows how much I like it. And we've been married 46 years, and
Hmm.
I mean, she's my soulmate, and she knows she wanted to do something. In fact, you were involved.
Maybe.
We were actually, I was out with Gary Pinta and Mark Hoover, and we were trying to do a ring find. I think Kenny and a couple other guys trying to do a ring find, and she was sitting up on the beach, and she came along to watch everybody's gear while we were out there getting pounded by the Atlantic, by the way. And then I find out that she had called you,
Yep.
and worked that deal out. But yeah, it's the Excalibur 2. In fact, let me show you a little bit here. Um, for water, and somebody told me that you get this machine, just kind of forget everything you've learned about metal detecting, is what they told me,
Yep.
because it's strictly tones. You're not looking at any screen and stuff like that. And I have to tell you, I love it. I, I got a CTX, and she got that for me as well. Um,
Hmm.
and I love that machine. It took me a little bit going from ant to all the noises and stuff to CTX, but I
Yeah.
think it helped me with this because a lot of it's tones.
Right.
But this thing I am having a ball with. Just going out and wading in the water. And the CTX, I know it's waterproof down to certain 10 feet or so, but I tell you, just putting that underwater, just, for the money, I was just so
Right.
hesitant. This thing, that's what it's for.
Right.
And also, I do recommend the guard. The It's a little tricky, but it's not
Hmm.
too hard to get on, for the because I heard the dials come off. But I love this machine. And I've already had in fact, I went out yesterday with it to I wanted to try a lake where you're not getting pounded by waves, and went out and found a diamond stud earring, which I don't know if it's diamond, but it looks like a diamond. And I found it's funny, it's a little park where you know where I was,
I know where you were at.
yeah,
That's a good
yeah,
park.
yeah. And little kids were out there swimming around and stuff like that. And I guarantee I pulled out probably 5 big fish hooks, you know. So you're cleaning out this place where somebody could step on some screws, some other things. But that's another thing about metal detecting too, is you clean out so much. Same with magnet fishing, you clean out the waterways. But
Absolutely.
but I love that Excalibur. It
It's
is
a
amazing.
It's a really, really good machine.
Yeah.
Um, but I just wanted to give a couple more shout outs here really quick. We got Al from Connecticut joined, Alice. We also have Nelson says good morning, Steve Pacifico from Detect America, um, Steph and Roy and Dave. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning,
Um,
everybody.
and I just wanted to give a little update to Olin, just to be clear on the Apex. The last update that we had from Garrett was the end of July. I don't want to say anything set in stone. That's just the last update, but we will update you as we get updates from Garrett. We will send you an email notification, and we'll probably give you a call to let you know as soon as we get them in and where they're coming out, when we're shipping them out. Just want to be clear, so everybody's on the same page with that.
Cool.
Um, and Nelson says that the XCal is all about the tones. Visuals fine. That's how he used to use his AT Pro at the beach for nighttime hunts, was just the tones.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
um, and I know she also got you that cool CKG scoop and an aftermarket shaft for it, which is carbon fiber, and you did a little bit of tweaking to it to make it really good and work out at the beach.
Yeah, I can show you. When I got it, the scoop, the the shaft was really too small for the size of the hole, the scoop, and it only had one hole. So I drilled another hole, but I said, this isn't going to work with a, it was probably a good quarter inch, half, this for the size was too small. So I went to Home Depot and got a piece of PVC that actually fit perfectly inside the scoop, and the carbon fiber fit perfectly inside that. So what I did
That's
is
perfect.
I cut the PVC down to where I can still take the, let's see, pull that out.
That's
So
awesome.
I mean, it works great. And the scoop is a lot better than the last one I had. I like the point on it a little flatter, and the flat back for your feet and stuff. But yeah, that worked a lot easier. I found I'm not digging as much. It's a little wider and stuff like that. In fact, I got that kind of from Mark Hoover, who has one similar, that said, "Man, I got to get me one of those." So I'm set. I'm excited. We're planning on a little trip this weekend over to the west coast of Florida. To the Gulf, it's a little easier. That's where I grew up. I grew up in Sarasota, so
Okay.
yeah, the beach was just part of our life, and so I'm anxious to get back over there, and then possibly latter part of the day hit through Arcadia, which is a very historic area.
Absolutely.
Got family over there, so I'm looking forward to maybe hitting some spots in there too.
One of the things about Arcadia is one of my friends, Jim Fielding, you know Jim.
Yeah.
Um, he's knows a lot of things. He does a lot of research. He does a lot. He studies history and everything. And I remember when I first joined the club, and one of the first tech talks that he gives, when he stands up in front of the club, he talks about different things. And he was talking about finding gold coins. And one of the places that he mentioned was Arcadia, because
Mm,
back in the day there were so many people, there was so much cattle going through back and forth, and they would walk with the cattle to transport the cattle and everything like that. And he said that the gold coins, there were a lot of people, when you had a kid or something, you wanted to entertain them, they'd sit on the front porch and they had those wooden slaps. Well, instead of having a rattle or something, I don't know if I would have done this, but they would take a gold coin and they'd put it in a cracker tin, and then the kid would shake the cracker tin and it would make the noise like a little rattle and make them happy. Well, the thing was, some of those gold, the tops came apart on the cracker tin.
yeah.
So the gold coin would fall into the porch, fall between the wood slabs, and go underneath of the porch. So
Yeah.
one of the things I've always wanted to do is go down there, do some door knocking and everything. And just because so many gold coins with all the cattle traders from Arcadia, I would love to go down there because I think that would be a good spot to look for a gold coin. So I
Yeah.
really wish you luck, and I really hope you find a gold coin this weekend.
I'm looking forward to it. And if anybody's ever looked up the history in Arcadia, it's pretty interesting. And like I said, I have aunt and uncle and cousins that live over there. And there's there used to be a trading post in Pine Level. It's outside of Arcadia, and where that trading post is today, or it's been torn down, you can't get up that property. They won't let you on. But
Hmm.
when they built the railroad, it was about 6 miles to the east, and I'm sure they were a little disappointed that they were hoping it would be out there. But then there
Right.
was a trail that was put in that would go back and forth until they built the city in Arcadia.
Hmm.
In fact, my cousin, they own their property. That trail crosses it. You can actually see where it's elevated. I've done
Okay.
some detecting there. Found Indian head nickel. I found a buffalo nickel. Some old spikes, nails, but they're more like spikes, and some old bullet shells, stuff like that. And that's just on probably a couple hundred feet. Well, it's probably about 300 yards or so,
Hmm.
um, 100 yards wide. But if you Google Earth it, you can actually see a little bit where the old trail was. So
That's
trying to get
awesome.
some permissions over there, but there's a lot of bed and breakfasts. I mean, Arcadia is known for a lot of their antique shops
Yeah.
downtown. You can just sit there and walk through all the antique shops. So hopefully get some pics over there we can get in.
One of the things that I love about just treasure hunting in general, there's so many different aspects about the hobby, and you just brought up a good one. One of the things I know I like to do, and Gary Penta just said good morning to us. I
Hey,
know
Gary.
Gary does it. I know Mark Hoover. Whenever we go on trips or anything, one of the places that we stopped is if we can find the historical society, we try to go there. Another
Hmm.
thing that we like to do is we like to find the old antique stores, and you
Yeah.
kind of just get to go in there, and it is a different aspect of treasure hunting. And that's where I completely started as a treasure hunter, was going to auctions and thrift
Hmm.
stores, antique stores, yard sales, all of that. And I really believe everybody really has that sense of treasure hunter inside of them, and going to one of those antique stores and talking to the locals, and especially if you find a local piece of history, it kind of ties everything together. That will
Yeah.
tie in with your metal detecting or your magnet fishing, just to give you a little bit more history on the area, history on the town. So
Sure. And I tell you, that's where you find so much of your stuff is word of mouth. You start
absolutely.
talking to somebody about it, or they come up and ask you what you're doing and stuff like that, and you'd be surprised how many just say, "Oh, well, I have, or I
Yep.
my cousin property, and or I lost this, and
Yep.
and a lot of times they have, it could have been lost years, like that pendant you had, the
Yep.
necklace you had. It could have been lost years ago, and they've forgotten about it,
Hmm.
and then they start saying, "Wow, too bad that we didn't have them back in the day. Well, where was it? It's still there, or something like that." So
Absolutely.
you get a lot
Absolutely.
that way. While I was waiting to come on here, I was on the our club site
Hmm.
looking through the different things. In fact, I was on Gary's. I went on Gary Penta's site, awesome site.
Yeah, it's
But
a really good
the people
site.
you meet and just the detectors and the heart that a lot of them have for just people, and I'm enjoying the club, enjoying everybody I'm meeting. And I tell you, this retirement is just amazing. I'm looking forward to getting out and doing more and more. So
Absolutely. And hearing your excitement about the Excalibur, and I told you I got an opportunity to meet with a pretty good friend over last weekend and hung out with him, and he uses the Excal. I know Mark uses the Excal. There's a lot of people who do. And I have my CTX, and I use my CTX on the beach. Love my CTX.
yeah,
And after I went to the Mel Fisher Museum last week and I saw all the stuff from the 1715 fleet, and listening to Terry Shannon and giving tips and everything about when the best time to hunt the beach is, I really feel one of the things with Coffee with Kellyco and talking to different people on Coffee with Kellyco, meeting up with them, it's really opened up my eyes and seeing more opportunity. I'm actually excited and considering getting Excalibur and going to the beach and following some of the tips Terry provided about, the tides, the different tide charts and everything. So
sure,
that's the best time to get down there and actually look for the stuff from the 1715 fleet. It's got me excited. And I mean, I know my CTX is a great machine, but
sure,
everybody knows when you go to the beach, that X-Cal really kills it.
yeah,
Um, my biggest fear is going in the water, which technically we're not supposed to do, but I don't like sharks. I'm terrified of sharks. I don't want a shark to come
yeah,
near me. I've been in the water when a little crab has grabbed my foot and I freak out and run out. So that's my biggest thing with the beach. So,
yeah,
but it really did inspire me going down to that museum, hearing your stories, hearing Terry's stories, Mark's stories. I mean, so many people talking about it. And I'm like, okay, I've always been a relic hunter. And there are so many relics, especially where we live. We live in the prime area to look for things that we can find a lot older than what I would find digging up in an 1890s house. I mean, we could find actual Spanish treasure, and that excites
sure,
me.
yeah. Yeah, and it opens up a whole nother world to me where
Yes.
I'm looking at. I was never scuba certified, so
Mhm.
I'm looking into that possibility. And I got so much going on right now with, so now retired. I've got all these different avenues I'm looking at, but that XCal, I love it.
Yep.
I just had it out yesterday, so I'm starting to look more for waterways instead of just magnet fishing, getting in the water and
Yep.
really trying to find some things like the springs. And, just there's so much history. I'm just looking forward to getting in.
And one of the things was you brought up your scoop, and I did the same thing when I started. I didn't know anything about detecting on the beaches. I just went with the basic scoop. Then I kind of upgraded to another scoop. Then I upgraded to another scoop. I
Yeah.
should have just went with the scoop that I wanted to begin with, get that
Yeah.
nice heavy duty scoop. The other ones, it
Yeah.
made it a pain in the butt. It's hard to kind of use, so just looking for what you really want at the beginning and just going for it, getting it, that's something I learned when it comes to scoops because I went
Yeah.
through so many before I found the one that was
Yeah.
right for me.
Yep. And everybody's different and stuff like that. I mean, I have
Absolutely.
another scoop. What one thing I do is, you know, why do you need more than one detector? Well, there's different things, the Excalibur for the water and stuff like that. But I also,
Exactly.
as far as just getting friends that want to try it,
Mhm.
to get involved, then I let them use it and show them. So
Right.
yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
Um,
that's okay.
so I utilize my other ones to get friends into it. In fact, I've had a couple now that they're a couple guys that have come
Yep.
in and have gotten
Doug.
their own
Yep.
detector now, and they're excited. And when they find that, so they're calling me saying, "Hey, I just found this or that," and so they're all excited.
That's
And it's for
awesome.
all ages.
It
Yeah, I
is.
know
It
it
really
used to be
is.
back when it was like, oh, the old guy on the beach or whatever. But I
Yep.
tell you what, it's nice seeing more and more kids getting into it,
Yep.
watching some of the
Absolutely.
videos, and yeah, seeing kids just like, look what I found. It's very it's
We
very
have a quick shout out to Todd, to Jerry, uh, John, Len. They all joined. Say good morning.
fun.
John says coffee, bagel, Excalibur, and treasure equals fun. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And John Gomez said, "What scoop do you like and recommend?" There's a variety of different ones. It depends if you want lightweight, if you want something more heavy duty, if you want a big open bucket, if you want something more narrow. I started with the smaller, narrow, kind of curved end, and it did fine at the beginning until I used my friend's scoop, and that's when I realized, no, this isn't because it was like a lot of scooping out. So
Yeah.
people, we do have our CKG scoops that people love them. They're affordable. They're about between $95 to $115 for the scoop itself, but they are very durable. And we also have a lot of people like the T-Rex scoop. That's a really good one, or the Ceto scoop. But we also carry our RTG scoops. And those are more aluminum, lightweight. There's hand scoops. There's all different ones. The scoop that I use now, I actually, my hunting partner passed away last January, and he left his scoop for me, and it's one of the original T-Rex scoops. So that's what I use now with a wooden handle. I want to upgrade it to a carbon fiber shaft, but it was his scoop. I haven't done it, but it is a T-Rex scoop. I absolutely love it. Um,
I do think the first one the one I had before this one, it was the rounded
mhm.
scoops. And if you're up on the beach in the soft in the sand and stuff like that, works great. It's
Perfect.
fine. But when I was out in the water, I found that just with the tides and stuff,
Yeah.
if you want to hopefully get it on that first dig, and
Yeah.
a lot of times those round scoops, it'll let things in through the side. So that's why this helped me. I
Yeah.
like the flat and how wide it was, and also the point. And it's like a nice big scoop. And I find that I catch them the first time, if not the second, or if you have to go a little deeper, it's got a pretty good depth on it. So
Yep.
I would just, try different things depending on what you're doing with it.
Yep.
But it definitely helps if you're, once you get, depending on what
Absolutely.
you're doing. I realize some people don't live so close to waterways and stuff, but you still got the lakes and stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, so that makes a big difference.
Steve said he loves his T-Rex, but people complain about the weight. It is a heavy duty scoop. It really is. But like Brian said, it does work really great in the water. And I know you know that too, Steve. Or I mean, it's just a lot easier than trying to use those small
Yeah.
round bucket ones.
Yep.
But well, it's about time for us to wrap this up, Brian. I know you got to run out on an errand. I appreciate you
Yeah.
joining this morning.
No
Um,
problem. No
and
problem at all.
Friday morning, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I am going to go live from the field with Coffee with Kellyco. Hopefully, I can find something good while I'm there. I'm not sure where I'm going yet, but definitely going to get out and do some detecting and take you guys live with me for the show.
Sweet. Look
So,
forward to it. Look forward to it.
Absolutely. And you guys have a great day. And all of our viewers, have a great day and happy Wednesday. And we will see you on Friday.
Happy hunting, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
All right.